WATTS.
Wow. What's going on right now around your house?
Right now, it's got K9 units, the sheriff's department. Everybody's like they're doing their best right now to figure out like if they can get a scent, see where they went. If they went on foot, they went in a car, or they went somewhere. And right now, it's just like they've been on point. They're going through the house trying to get a scent, and hopefully they can pick something up to where it's going to lead to something.
What happened? Your wife came home. Tell me what's.
She came home from the airport 2 a.m. and I left around 5:15. She was still here, and like about 12:10 in that afternoon, her friend Nicole showed up at the door. Like I had texted Shanann a few times that day, called her, say but she never got back to me. But she wasn't getting back to any of her people as well, and that's what really concerned a lot of people. Is like if she's not getting back to her, like if she doesn't get back to me, that's fine. Like she gets busy during the day, but she didn't get back to her people, which was very concerning. And Nicole called me when she was at the door, and that's when I came home. And then walked in the house and nothing was vanished. Nothing was here. I mean, she wasn't here. The kids weren't here. Nobody was here.
What's your wife's name?
Shanann. Shanann.
What's your kids?
Bella and Celeste.
How do you spell Celeste?
Celeste.
How old are your daughters?
4. Bella's 4. Celeste is 3.
And so, how many times did you try calling her?
I called her 3 times, texted her about 3 times just to say, what's going on. Like because after I called her and texted her once, it's like maybe she was just busy. Like she had just gotten back. Like everybody's probably calling her from her trip. She just got back from Arizona, and I figured she was just busy. But when her friend showed up, that's what it was like. It registered. Like, all right, this isn't right.
Do you think she just took off? Do you think?
I mean, right now I don't even want to just like throw anything out there. Like, I hope that she's somewhere safe right now and with the kids. But I mean, could she just taken off? I don't know. But if somebody has her and they're not safe, like I want them back now. Like that's what's in my head. Like if they're safe right now, they're gonna come back. But if they're not safe right now, that's the not knowing part. Like if they're not safe, last night I had every light in the house on. I was hoping that I would just ran over by the kids running in the door and just like barrel rushing me, but it didn't happen. And it was just a traumatic night trying to be here.
I'm gonna ask some kind of tough questions about your relationship with your kids.
My kids are my life. I mean, those smiles light up my life. And this, like, I mean, last night, like, during, like, when they usually eat dinner, it was just like, I miss them. Like, I mean, I miss telling them, hey, you got to eat that or you're not going to get your dessert, and just like, you're not going to get your snack after. I miss that. Like, I miss them, cuddle up on their couches. They have like a Minnie Mouse couch and a Sophia couch that they cuddle up on and watch, Bubble Guppies or something. And it was just like,
The morning sun was just beginning to warm the quiet streets of Frederick, Colorado when Chris Watt stepped outside, arms folded tightly against his chest, eyes scanning the cameras that had gathered in front of his home. His wife, Shanann, and their 2 little girls had vanished, and yet Chris stood there with a calmness that felt unsettling, almost rehearsed. He spoke softly, choosing each word as if he had practiced the lines in front of a mirror. "I just want them back," he said, looking directly into the lens, but something in his voice lacked the panic, the trembling, the raw fear you'd expect from a father whose world had shattered overnight. Neighbors watched from their windows, whispering to each other that something about his demeanor didn't feel right. Even officers observing the live broadcast sensed the stiffness in his posture, the way he crossed his arms as if protecting himself rather than grieving. As you listen to this, don't forget to subscribe to Grave Secret, because the deeper you look into this interview, the more the truth starts to leak through the cracks. Chris continued speaking, mentioning how quiet the house felt, how empty the rooms were. But he spoke of these things with a tone closer to observation than heartbreak. When a reporter asked him what he thought happened, he paused for too long, as though searching for the least suspicious answer. "I just hope they come back," he muttered. Yet the calmness in his face didn't match the tragedy he was describing, and the world had already begun to notice. As the interview rolled on, Chris repeated the same phrases with a strange rhythm, almost as if they were lines from a script he had memorized overnight. "I just want them back, this isn't like her, if someone has them, please bring them home." But his voice carried no urgency, no tremor, no emotional cracks. Every sentence felt polished, controlled, too controlled. Viewers watching the live interview felt a chill as they noticed how his eyes rarely showed the fear he described. Instead, they darted around, searching for a comfortable place to land. Investigators monitoring the scene were already picking up inconsistencies. Chris said Shanann might have left with the girls, yet the children's car seats were still in the car. Their shoes, backpacks, medications, everything was in place. Nothing suggested a sudden disappearance. But Chris continued talking like a man determined to appear innocent rather than desperate. At one point, as he folded his arms again, he mentioned their marriage had issues lately. The comment caught attention immediately. Why would a husband bring that up during a plea for his family's return? Officers noted it carefully. And as you're listening now, make sure to like and share this video so more people can uncover the layers behind this chilling interview. Chris's tone remained eerily steady. He spoke more about the house being quiet than about the children he claimed to miss. His body language contradicted his words with every movement. And slowly, the public began asking the same question investigators were already whispering behind the scenes: if he's telling the truth, why does everything feel so wrong? By the time Chris finished his interview and stepped back into the house, investigators were already exchanging looks. Something in his calm, polished appearance didn't match the story he was trying to sell. They brought him to the station for questioning, and the man who had stood confidently in front of cameras just hours earlier suddenly looked smaller beneath the harsh interrogation lights. He sat with his hands clasped tightly, staring at the table as officers asked him to recount the last morning he saw his family. His voice wavered whenever the questions hit too close, and he stumbled over details a grieving father should remember clearly. Detectives decided to take a bold step: administer a polygraph test. Chris agreed, insisting he had nothing to hide. But the machine told a very different story. Every time he denied harming Shanann or the girls, the lines on the monitor spiked violently. When the test ended, the examiner didn't sugarcoat it. She leaned in and said, "Chris, you failed. And you already knew you would fail." The room fell silent. For the first time, Chris's composure cracked. His breathing grew heavy, his shoulders began to shake, and he wiped his palms against his jeans. The officers pressed gently but firmly, reminding him that the world was watching, that his family needed the truth. And as you listen to this unraveling moment, don't forget to subscribe to Grave Secret, because what happens next is one of the most haunting turns in true crime history. Cornered and terrified, Chris asked for one thing: to talk to my dad. When Chris's father walked into the interrogation room, the atmosphere shifted. The confident man from the driveway interview was gone. What sat before his father now was a trembling shell, a man whose lies were collapsing faster than he could hold them together. He buried his face in his hands, his voice breaking as he whispered a version of events that detectives immediately recognized as another story crafted to soften the truth. He claimed he reacted after seeing something happen to the children, an attempt to shift blame and present himself as a devastated husband instead of the one responsible. Detectives listened quietly, allowing him to speak, but they were already dismantling his narrative. The timeline didn't match. The evidence they'd collected didn't match. And most of all, his behavior from the very beginning, his cold, calculated calm, didn't match the story he was trying to spin now. They leaned forward, laying out the facts one by one, each detail tightening the pressure around him. Chris's breathing grew shallow. His father sat beside him, eyes wide, struggling to process the horror in front of him. Meanwhile, outside that room, the public was re-watching his interview, realizing the unsettling truth: the man pleading on television had been lying all along. As the detectives pressed harder, Chris broke again. His voice cracked, his facade disintegrating as he faced the weight of what he had done. If you're still here following this dark unraveling, make sure to like and share this video, because the final truth that comes next is more chilling than anything the world had expected. And in that moment, Chris finally whispered what investigators already knew. "It was me." After Chris confessed, the interview that once looked strange now felt chilling. The world replayed the footage, noticing every misplaced smile, every forced shrug, every calm word spoken by a man pretending his family was simply missing. Viewers pointed out the emptiness in his eyes, the rehearsed lines, the way he folded his arms as if shielding himself from the truth. Detectives who watched that clip after the confession said the signs were always there, hidden in plain sight, wrapped inside a performance he thought he could control. When the full truth came out, the calm facade shattered. Chris finally described, in haunting detail, the events he had tried so desperately to hide. The image of the quiet husband on the driveway was gone. In his place stood a man whose darkness shocked the entire nation. His neighbors, who had once seen him as a gentle father, now watched the news in disbelief, remembering how strangely calm he had been during that first interview. And if you're watching this final chapter, don't forget to subscribe to Grave's Secret for more stories that peel back the masks people wear. Inside prison walls, stripped of lies and cameras, Chris admitted what really happened. No excuses. No shifting blame. Just the horrifying truth. The interview became one of the most disturbing pieces of true crime history because it captured a man hiding a monstrous secret in real time. Those 10 minutes of footage became a window into a deceptive calm, a mask slipping, one nervous smile at a time. And when it finally fell, the world saw the darkness he had been carrying all along.